Question all the time, and it's from people who have had various levels of spine fusion, and they want to know what yoga poses can they do. So here you go. I'm going to give you 10 yoga poses that you can do considering all levels of spinal fusion. So just to err on the side of caution and to make this a generic video, we're just going to consider that someone's entire spine is fused from thoracic all the way down to sacrum. There are plenty of you out there with long fusions, but even if you have small fusions, here you go. Here are 10 poses. Beginning with Tadasana, mountain pose. Take your feet hip-width apart and parallel, pausing for a moment to root down into your feet. Lift your toes. Open your palms. Squeeze your leg muscles and stand tall, lifting your rib cage, chin up. Take a moment to spread the toes, place them back down, and feel all parts of your feet connecting to the earth. Lift the lower belly in and up just under the navel, and relax the shoulders down the back. Moving to tree pose, bring your hands to prayer at the heart, shift your weight to your left leg. Bring your right heel just above the left ankle. Stage 1, tree. Stage 2, slide the foot up to the inner shin. And if your balance is nice and steady, go ahead and bring your foot all the way up to the inner thigh. Press the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot as you open the knee laterally. Once again, lift up from the belly and inhale as you extend your arms up and wide. Lift the chin and rise up out of your spine. And exhale to slowly come back down to mountain pose. Pause, recalibrate, and then change sides. Shifting your weight to the right, stage 1, 2, or 3, tree. Pressing foot, leg together, feeling the midline of your body, lifting the belly. Inhale as you rise up and open, lift the chin. Exhale, come out of the pose. Pose 3, eagle pose, slightly bend the knees. Slide your right foot around to cross the knees, one knee over the other. Keep the ball of the right foot on the floor. Squeeze your knees towards each other. Bring your arms together, hands to touch, and maybe elbows to touch if that's within your range of motion. Sit a little lower and reach the elbows a little higher. Lift your belly. Option to wrap the right arm under the left and clasp the hands. Pull the forearms away from the chest. Push the ball of the right foot down into the floor for stability. Inhale, rise up and back to mountain pose. Pause, recalibrate. Other side, bend the knees, slide, glide the left foot around, crossing the knees, squeezing the knees in and pressing the ball of the left foot into the floor. Hands to prayer or elbows together or wrap left under right. Sit a little lower, reach a little higher, and draw the belly in for support. Rise up out of the pose, back to mountain pose. Warrior 3, step the left foot forward, bring the hands to prayer, and begin to tilt forward, slightly lifting the right foot off the floor, maybe even keeping a toe touch on the floor. Stay right here. If you're ready to go a little farther, find a gazing spot on the floor to steady your gaze, elbows wide, press your hands into each other to steady yourself to the midline, and begin to tip forward. Maybe pausing to find your just right place. You have to have a lot of stability in the glute medius muscle and to the outer hip. So if you're not quite there yet, just stay where you are. Those of you a little more advanced can tip forward. So the leg comes parallel to the floor, the spine comes parallel to the floor. Extending through a flexed foot, gazing forward. Step back, Tadasana, pause, recalibrate, other side. Step right foot forward, hands to prayer. Stage 1, stage 2, or stage 3, warrior 3. Remember, warrior 3 is an advanced pose. Does require a lot of strength and stability and balance. However, it is a neutral spine pose for those of you with fusions. Pose 5, warrior 2, turn to the side, hands to waist, step wide on your mat. Turn your left foot toes out, your right foot toes slightly in. Lift your belly, find your core, inhale, extend your arms, and exhale to bend to the left knee towards parallel. If you're new to the pose, just take a slight bend in the knee. If you have a background in yoga, You can bend the knee a little deeper, gazing out over your left hand, taking a few breaths here. Coming out of the pose, hands to waist, straighten the leg, parallel the feet again, turn your right foot toes out. Other side, inhale and exhale. Lift through the belly, gaze out over your right hand, relax your shoulders down. Squeeze your left knee, the back straight leg, squeeze it strong. Straighten your right knee, parallel your feet, hands to waist, and step together. Next pose, step back right foot, lower down knee, and then your other knee. Come to all fours position. Take a moment to breathe here in this new position. And then we're going to move to pose 6, puppy pose. Extend your arms forward. Keep the hips over the knees. And slowly let your forehead come towards or on the floor. Press your hands down and forward. Take a couple breaths here as you elongate the tissues and the musculature in your trunk. On your inhale, walk your hands back up to all fours. Downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under. Lift your knees up and press your chest back towards your feet. Keep your feet hip width apart or a little bit more. Keep the knees slightly bent. This is a variation of down dog. And lift your sitting bones high. Push your hands down and forward. Take a few breaths here or hold for longer. Plank pose. Inhale to come forward. Shoulders directly over wrists, legs straight. Adapted or modified plank would be knees to the floor if you do not feel strong enough for a full plank. Squeeze your thighs if you're in full plank and press strongly through your shoulders. Moving on, bring your knees to the floor. Swing your knees to the right and let your left hip come to the floor to slide down onto your side and then onto your back. Bridge pose. Bend your elbows, fingertips towards the ceiling. Feet flat. Lift your hips. Not lifting high, just lifting enough to squeeze the glutes and engage the legs. Keep your chin slightly off your chest and keep the bridge pretty low to the floor. Option to heel toe the feet together to touch, lifting the right leg towards the ceiling, foot to the ceiling, keeping the hips even. This is going to be a little more challenging for the glute and hip strength. Changing sides. And bring the hips back down. Pose 9, we're going to come back to all fours. Roll to your side. Push yourself up to sitting and quickly turn to all fours. Sunbird, extend your right leg. Extend your left arm forward. Draw your belly in and pause. See if you can steady yourself. Squeeze your legs strong, extend your arms straight. Changing sides. Knees together. Left leg lifts, right arm as well. Take a couple breaths. And then we'll come back down to our back. Sometimes the transitional poses are the hardest. Tuck your toes, spin your knees to the right, and let your hip come to the floor. That would be your left hip. You can go either way. Slide down to a side lying position and then roll to your back. Supta Padangusthasana. Hug the right knee into the chest. Extend your left leg straight to the mat. Awaken the feet by wiggling your toes. Extend your right leg, foot to the ceiling, holding on to the back of the thigh, shin, wherever you can reach. No need to pull the leg way into the chest. Just keep the foot towards the ceiling. And take a few bend and straight of the knee. So bending the knee and pushing the heel straight towards the ceiling. This is pose 10. Change sides. Left knee in, right leg straight, extending the heel to the ceiling, holding behind the thigh if you can. And if you can't hold your leg, just let your arms come to the side and do a few bend and straighten of the leg. You might get a little bit of shaking, and that's okay. Bring your feet down to touch or to be flat on the floor. Let the knees fall in, palms up, and enjoy. Namaste.